Okay, in honor of the new year, or the upcoming new year, I should say, as I'm recording this on the 2nd of December, 2023, I wanted to get back into podcasting, but I want to put it specifically on YouTube. So, and I'll just do this, whatever comes to mind, whatever I feel passionate enough to talk about. But yeah. So, I'm going to talk about CM Punk's WWE return. As I've been trying to figure out, like, how to word things that I want to say and all that stuff. So, CM Punk turned last week at Survivor Series after a nearly 10-year absence from WWE, and I'm very but I wanted to talk about a few things specifically about it, and that's his promo on Raw, the expectations that everybody had for his promo on Raw, which I think were very, very unreasonable. People were disappointed. All of this sounds like a generic WWE promo, or this is bad. It's bad. And why do people think that? It's because they expected to they expected to have him go out there and just talk shit about everyone, which I think is a very, like, very unreasonable thing to expect for multiple reasons. Number one, he's in a different place, away from them. Number two, he literally has an NDA where he can't bring them up. Number three, wrestling fans just got spoiled. Just have been spoiled. Over, like, the creative freedom thing in AEW has left a lot of wrestling fans spoiled because they think that that's how things should be. That every promo should just be unscripted, off the cuff, shit stirring. When that's not how it's supposed to be. That's never been how it's supposed to be. And you're and that's a very stupid expectation to place for yourself. Holding AEW to a gold standard of how wrestling companies should be ran is the equivalent of expecting DSP to be the gold standard of how every pro gamer should look. It's just silly. It's just silly, and it's just quite frankly dumb. I personally think his promo was great. It started a good building block for what's to eventually come in the future for his new found start in WWE. As far as where I think that's gonna go, it's obviously headed toward him and Seth. There's real beef there, and they're doing the one thing that Tony Khan, owner of AEW, never thought to do, and quite frankly, he was too much of a pussy to do, and that's capitalize on real beef within a scripted feud. That's where all the good, that's how good wrestling beefs are made, is that if they legit hate each other, you have money on your hands immediately. And I would not be in the slightest bit surprised if Punk went there knowing that, well, I know a lot of people aren't gonna be too thrilled that I'm working there again, but at least it'll make for good TV if we do. And if that's the case, he's a smart businessman. Love him or hate him, he's a smart man. He knows what to do. He's very he's been in the industry enough to know what is good for the industry. And so is Triple H. I mean, he's running it now. He was brought into the most probably among the 3 or 4 most famous wrestling family in the world. The McMahons, And then there's the McMahons, the Rhodes, the Dan, the Wyatt family, of course. And then there's the Von Erichs. So he knows. He knows what he's doing. And he'd be foolish enough not to capitalize on it. But yeah. And as far as that horseshit report about them planning Stone Cold versus Punk at WrestleMania, no. Stone Cold's too beat up, and that match should have happened 12 years ago, and everybody says that, like, oh, it's perfect because Punk's a devout straight edge and Stone Cold drinks a lot of beer. I'm like, number one, that isn't enough legs for a whole feud, in my opinion at least. Number two, Win would have been a because for the first like 2-3 years, in his first run in WWE, is what back when Punk had the long hair and he had the lip piercing. That was like being a straight edge was pretty much all he would talk about. That would have been the best time to bring in Stone Cold, because that was part of excuse me, that was part of Punk's character. But over time, it became less and less about I'm straight edge and more about I'm the best in the world. And yes, after that point in the best in the world period, there would be little inklings of the straight edge thing being brought up, like his feud with Jericho, and whatever. But other than that, there is nothing to it, in my opinion. That doesn't have enough legs to stand on for an entire program. But anyways, I hope that report's bullshit. I've read reports about Triple H being optimistic about the whole thing, which might in and of themselves be bullshit, but I don't know. But regardless, there is so much they can do. They could have him feud with Roman, which is apparently in the cards, which is weird that he's gonna feud with both Seth and Roman, which instantly your brain goes to have him the titles from both Roman and Seth, so he's like double champ. But like that in and of itself is a very, very very double-sided thing. They're like a double-edged sword here, because you have them beat both for both their championships. Have not only just the fan base pissed off, or the or the entire locker room pissed off because he's taking our spots, blah blah blah, after he left for whatever how many years. But at the same time, you don't want him to lose both feuds because because that would be a waste of. Let's be real here. The biggest draw they have. He's only been back for a week now. So what do? You either have him win both and have the locker room be pissed, or have him win one but lose the other. Win one feud but lose the other feud, and then the fan base gets pissed off because you just chumped out your biggest draw after he'd been gone for 9-10 years. So what do you do here? And so that I'm gonna be controversial here and say fuck their feelings and just pull the trigger on them. Yeah, I fully feel that. I'm not saying that Punk should be the literal embodiment of that picture with that 13-year-old picture of Triple H of all the belts photoshopped on top of him, but I think it'd be cool. Plus, it could also be a subtle dig at Kenny Omega's belt collector moniker, belt collector, nickname, whatever, without having to make any actual jabs at AEW and run the risk of getting a suit slapped at you. But yeah, do I think the hate for the promo is really overblown? Yes. I feel like people are getting so accustomed after being away from the WWE product and choosing AEW over it that they forget how things are supposed to be, because they're so used to watching a more unprofessionally ran product. Which I think is bullshit, and I want to talk about that for a second. Why are people so pissed at Punk for leaving AEW? He's his own man, and he can make his own decisions. He doesn't need to ask a lot of you people permission for what he needs to do, because he doesn't fucking know you. He will probably never fucking know you, and he probably doesn't give a flying french fried titty fucking fart about what you feel is best for him, because he's his own person. Would you like it if Punk ran up in your house, kicked you square in the dick, and said, you don't, you don't, you're not living your life properly, and you're saying, but I have a job, and you're like, and he's like, I don't care. You should do this, you should do that. No. He doesn't. He doesn't say, why are you working for, I don't know, why are you working for Kmart when you should work for Walmart? Like, no, he's not doing that. Why are you working for Walmart when you should be working for Target? He doesn't say that to you, so why do you say that to him? It's just very stupid. And I understand the concerns, and I understand you have an empathy for why would he want to go to the place that place that ruined his life when it's universally accepted that the reason why he left in the first place was Vince him and him. Well, pal, we need you to come into work. Even though you have a concussion, pal, we're a family, pal. It'll be good shit, pal. You know, like, like, Vince is gone now. He has no say in what to do. That's the whole reason why he's back in the first place. Is because the man that made his life a living hell, that had the doctor give him the Z-Pack that made him shit his pants in the middle of the ring during that, is gone now, and he should be allowed to make his own decisions. He's his own man. He doesn't need to answer to a bunch of people just because they happen to fill his pockets. They put money in his pockets. That's just stupid. I don't get it. And bunch of people burning the shirts, burning his AEW shirt. It's just stupid. It's just fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. Because it's like, imagine this. It's, okay, imagine you have a really close friend that you've known for your entire life, and you ditch him to go hang out with a friend that you've only known for a good few months to a couple of years. And you're always posting pictures on social media being like, oh yeah, me and Darren, we had so much fun. And then your old friend Bob is like, oh damn, I miss Steve. I miss Steve. I wish Steve would come back. That's that's you. That's you with AEW and WWE. And people are like, and with this mentality of people calling WWE the Fed or the E or whatever, even though I know that I have friends that call it the Fed and the E whatever. I personally find it stupid. And like, why is this loyalty to AEW and feeling betrayed from going back to AEW? And AEW is real wrestling. AEW is real wrestling, where all the real wrestlers go. Where all they go if they want to be shown properly, even though they go to AEW and then they're like, hot for like a good week or two to a month, and once they get there, everybody's happy to see them, and then they're instantly doing Jack Diddley dick shit. Keith Lee, no, Kai Black, Keith Lee, probably a lot of other people, but yeah, it's just, and you can talk shit about WWE all you want, but a lot of you wrestling fans, you seem to forget this, but WWE was, I don't even need to say likely, because it was your gateway drug to wrestling for pretty much 99.9% of you. And don't give me that shit. No, it was ECW. It was WCW. It was blah blah blah. No, you weren't fucking watching ROH at 4 years old. You weren't living in fucking, you weren't living in fucking Green Bay, Wisconsin, on the fucking farm, fucking watching Ring of Honor watching New Japan at 4. It was because of WWE that you're a fan of wrestling in the first place. And then you abandon it for a company that existed for not even a fraction of the time, and start you start giving basketball throw Tony Khan the old Gok 3000 when he doesn't have one iota of a fucking idea of what he's doing compared to anybody that has had an eye for the business that works for WWE. Yeah, you may have discovered Punk's body of work in Ring of Honor, maybe even his work in IWA, even probably before that. But the only reason why you went to go went to go scout that stuff out was because you saw his work in WWE, and you're like, oh, I need to see more of him. I wonder where else he's worked. That's and I refuse to, and I don't want to debate. I don't want to even debate anybody on that, because it would just be a waste of time, because let's be real here. I know I'm right, and it would just be a waste of time to further prove that I am right. But anyway, it's just a stupid way of thinking. And another subset of, like, the wrestling community is toxic. Both sides of the wrestling community are toxic. The internet wrestling community and the the anti-internet wrestling community, because the IWC says, oh, this guy should be pushed, or this guy should be pushed, or we want to see this guy get a world title run in the future. And then you have the anti-IWC, oh, this guy sucks, this guy sucks, this guy sucks. And then hurling homophobic slurs at everybody, homophobic and transphobic slurs at everybody, like somebody's grandfather at Thanksgiving when they're 20 beers deep. It's just a waste of time from all angles. It's just a waste of time from all angles, and it just sucks, and I wish I could turn it out, but I can't, because it's just everywhere if you're a wrestling fan. Like, and if you let it be known that you're a wrestling fan, like social media like Facebook and Twitter and wherever else, they'll be like, oh, we heard you like wrestling, so here's this page. Oh, look at all the negative shit people are saying. Oh, sorry, no matter how many pages you block, we're just gonna keep throwing more at you. It's just toxic. It's just toxic from both sides, and I wish that I didn't have to be a part of it, because there in the internet wrestling community there are certain people, and I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. People that hate women and say that all women are garbage and talk about how all women want them, despite the fact that they look like the fusion. They look like what would happen if the villain from Human Centipede 2 and the guy that stole Woody in Toy Story 2 did the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance, and then that they're the byproduct of what would be created out of said fusion dance. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're a very fortunate human that not only give wrestling fans a bad name, not only give anime fans a bad name, both communities which I consider myself a part of. It's just bad. But not only that, it gives every other man a bad name because it just makes you look bad. It just makes everybody look bad. And it's not fair to anybody. Anyway, I just don't know. I hate being a part of the wrestling community. People don't know. People don't know how bad it is. Be staring at this thing you love, knowing that you can't contribute to it in the way you want to because of the hand you were dealt, the way you were born. You can't live the dream of working a match of Punk or working a program of Punk or wishing that one day you would be fortunate enough to have some company invent braces that make you able to walk, so you can have this like feel good like like rocky underdog story of like I used to think that I would never be able to be a part of this thing that I love because of how I was born. Now look at me, type thing. I can't do that, so I have to admire it from afar and have the closest thing be a part of e-feds with friends and stuff, video game e-feds with friends and stuff, and CAW leagues, and say, well, this is as close as I'm gonna get, so I have to admire it from afar and just be a part of this like toxic group of people that like say this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, you're a sheep for liking it, blah blah blah. But anyway, I don't I don't know. People don't know. I've had this idea in my head that I could be the guy to send be Punk's final feud before he retires for good, but that'll never happen. I've had daydreams since I was like 12 and under about having a group of my friends that aren't even wrestling fans. That, like we all go and we all get brought up in the system, and then we become like this big unstoppable like group of people, like a shield type faction, and then we would do good, and I would be managed by one of my favorite teachers from what I remember, who is a wrestling fan. That'll never happen, and I don't even have contact with that teacher anymore anyway, and all that sucks. So I have to just sit and wonder. You know how many days on the bus I spent throughout my 12 years of school, from preschool, well, not from like 3rd grade all the way to high school, that I would just think about that stuff. But I will never be a part of that, so I have to just sit and admire from afar and be a part of this community, which I hate. That's not fair. That's not fair to me. I've had ideas that I just, like, I would get into a blood feud with Nick Dinsmore, bring him out of retirement, beat the piss out of him for creating the Eugene gimmick and instilling people with disabilities with false hope, because he's just using their lifestyle as a gimmick, and for whatever reason they don't seem to mind. That sucks. That fucking hurts. No one knows how bad that fucking hurts, and I have to be a part of this toxic ass community where all they do is just shit on everything, both sides. But anyway, I just feel like I wanted to talk about all this because it's just annoying, and I'm going to tell you a little story. I've dealt with social anxiety and like awkwardness and lack of social cues for months, forever, and I was down on myself. But on Saturday, when last week, when Punk came back, that changed my mental state. So much so that I went on Adam Pierce's Facebook, haven't gotten written back, but I know he liked one of my comments saying that I want to meet Punk and say thank you. And I would, if given the opportunity, I would love to, like, have, like, be Punk's manager for a match in the future. That would be cool. And just be able to, tip my, like, they get out of whoever it is, they get Malfi, and then I, with me, and I grab him by the head of one hand, tip my chair back, and DDT him on the rings, on the outside of the ring. Punk throws him back in the ring, hits a GTS, goes with pin. 1, 2, 3. That would be awesome. That would be a dream come true, but I can't. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. But it damn sure would mean a lot to me if it were able to. Anyway, thank you all for hearing me out, and I hope that even if I hope that even if I hope that even if my friends that aren't wrestling fans decide to watch this video, you still feel a connection, and you still feel moved by anything that I said, and moved by my passion for this industry that you don't know anything about, that you're just hearing about from me. Anyway, and okay, now that that's over, one more thing about the promo. Always lying. He doesn't really love his fans. I mean, they're the people that allowed him to do this for so long, so that argument's flawed. It's just dumb, like, no one's allowed to enjoy anything anymore. Everybody's gotta be a cynical asshole about everything. Like, oh, you like this? This sucks. Oh, you like that? That sucks. Blah, blah, blah. Like, we're not allowed to have shit. We're not allowed to have nice things in this fucking community anymore. I mean, not that we ever were, but still, it's just gross. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my discussion. Peace.